And then we've got
Sorry,
the,
go
we have
ahead.
the split cup
Yeah.
on the end.
Okay.
But we can put glasses with it if we need to.
Okay.
So we'll put glasses.
Well, welcome everyone. So I like to start on time, true to staff tastings as well as other tastings, and I have a feeling that we're also going to probably run to noon because there are a lot of us and we have not 9 wines but 11. So you all are forgetting the basic golden rule of every Waterford tasting, which is that we don't introduce ourselves. If you'll remember, and it's been a very long time, and I'll talk about it in a second, but if you'll remember, way back in my graduate school days, one of my professors said, and it was one of those classes where everyone had to teach the course at a certain point, he said, I never do introductions the first or the second day because who cares? If we don't find each other interesting, we really don't want to introduce ourselves anyway. But by the third day, usually we've had enough conversation where we actually care and want to know who we're sitting next to and why we're teaching each other this course. So true to that form, we introduce ourselves at the end of the third flight when we all are so much more interesting and find ourselves so much more enjoyable. So, okay, with that, let's start by tasting this first bonus wine. And I want to give you guys a toast and also toast someone special to Waterford. So the toast is welcome, and thank you all for coming. It's been a long time. I was thinking about what to say, whether I would say 12 months since we tasted, but it hasn't been 12, or trained together. It hasn't been 16, and in fact, I can't remember the last time we had a staff training is the ultimate answer. So welcome back, and thank you for coming today. The other thing is this is a very special and fun wine for me because of a particular individual, which is Randy Reed. Randy was the second person I hired. He was a great friend. He redid the upstairs of Brady Street. And he also wonderfully, one time, I gave him the power to do a big purchase of wine. And he chose to do that big purchase on this wine, K. Vintner's Viognier. Nick Zincraft, if you remember him, I'm sorry, I'm reaching way back into Waterford history.
Nick.
Exactly. Had brought a woman from Italy who was very interested in him, who he was not interested in, to a Randy Reed Waterford pizza party. That woman got shunned by Nick, but she chose to give Randy Reed a full body massage at the time, and Randy was drinking K. Viognier, and that's when Randy decided to fire off on purchasing 20 cases of K. Vintner's Viognier. Yeah, it was the summer of 2009, and we got rid of the last bottle of K. Vintner's Viognier. We didn't sell it, we drank it in July of 2019. So, to Randy Reed.
Randy.
Mm-hmm.
Who made a lot of the bookshelves, right?
Nope, he did not.
Was that Les?
Les partially made the white wine room at Brady. And then the big old original ones were my crew from Pella Windows way back in the day. And that's what's out in Delafield. So, okay, so getting to the tasting, what we're going to do today, and of course in typical Waterford wine fashion, I studied for this about 4 weeks ago when I set the wines, and then I woke up and didn't revisit them since. So this is just going to be me flying by the seat of my pants as always. But what we're going to do is take a look at Washington State. Now, I'm recording it, and that's why we have this funny box in front of us, because what I've found is that for the store managers, doing this, and hopefully they attend and can taste with us, but doing this means that they can go back and review when we actually go to do the presentation for the public. So my hope is to average about one of these a month where we can record. My hope is that we would also rotate the stores. So we have some members of the Delafield staff, but the next one would be in Delafield. And then hopefully the one after that would be in Green Bay. So each staff gets to dominate or not dominate as they so choose. And of course, then we all have to take the commute out to one of the stores. So that's the hope, and that's why this odd box for recording. So excuse that. But otherwise, what we're going to do is we're going to taste 11 wines from Washington State. I snuck in a couple of extra, 10, and then I wanted to do one more white, so 11 wines. I really hope to show you some of the amazing things about Washington State. I think as a wine growing place, it has several unique features which we can always taste and smell in our glasses. The quality to price ratio is extraordinary in Washington State. The diurnal temperature change is amazing in Washington State. And then also the soil and the complexity of the soils is another amazing factor in Washington State. So I'm hoping to take those three and follow them and interweave them across these flights and add in a couple more things, in particular the history of Washington State and its wines, and also the people of Washington State and the wines that they're making. So that's my goal in doing this. We'll see if I manage to make it, and usually by the third flight it gets a little bit wild. So we're going to start with that. And if you don't mind stopping, then we'll pour.